created Buurtzorg together with friends. It's always good to, instead of having a management team, it's good to have friends. Buurtzorg means neighborhood care, neighborhood community care. So a buurt is a neighborhood in Holland. And my idea was, before we started, that we should create healthy neighborhoods. So, and healthy is not only about healthcare, but also ecological neighborhoods. So where there is space for everybody, and there are social structures, and there are networks, so that people can help each other when it's necessary. In 2006, I resigned as a director of innovation at the organization I worked in. And we started with 4 nurses and a new organization. And we already had a 5-year plan at that moment. So we had a turnover in 2006 of €400, but we had a 5-year plan that we said in 5 years we want to be with 4,000 or 5,000 people. So that was, and not that we wanted to have this organization, but we wanted to change healthcare in the Netherlands. So the perception of healthcare being an industry, we thought it was damaging people. So healthcare should be about helping people, not damaging people. At the moment we have 10,000 nurses, and they're working in 900 independent teams. We have a complaint commission, but they never have to do anything. There are no complaints. So everything is solved within the teams. So teams take care for these patients, and they're quite severe patients. So we take care for a lot of people who are terminally ill at home, people who are discharged from hospital, people who have chronic diseases. So there are serious problems. So I already said we have also 4,000 care workers, and at the moment we have a revenue of €350 million. We don't have a CFO, so we don't have a financial director. And then really that's a big advantage. Everybody understands what comes in and what goes out. So it needs to be very transparent, so every team understands what comes in and what are the costs, and what can they influence. In 1993, the Dutch politicians said we have to see community healthcare as an industry. So we are going to define products. So they defined 12 different products. They decided you need personal care extra, personal care special. You have nursing care special, nursing care extra. It's like in Holland you should say an pommes frites thing that you can have with mayonnaise and without. Then what we saw was that the quality went down, because most organizations were focusing on putting the lowest education level on the activities. So what we saw that the bachelor level decreased with 50% in 10 years' time, and the costs doubled in 10 years' time. So that's enough reasons to start something new. So we said, if we build something which is creating more and higher quality, which is producing lower cost, and is much more fun to do, then on every side I think we will have an advantage. So we started again based on the principles of the 80s. We said if we create independent teams, if they work in neighborhoods of 5,000 to 10,000 people, they know everybody in these neighborhoods, so they can oversee the networks. And if they are responsible for the whole process, taking care for the client, but also for the financials, for their education, for the coordination. If they are also doing nursing care, medical care, social care, then patients only have to deal with a few persons. And that's, for everybody, that's an advantage, I think. So we said if we empower people and we are there when it's needed, then people will feel the solution as the best possible solution. So it's not that we are not doing things because we don't want to, but if people are self-confident, if they feel that they can do things themselves, then they are developing again themselves, and they are creating more social networks themselves if they feel confident than when they don't feel confident. So this is the onion model, as we said. This is going all over the world. It's very popular in Japan. And it's very simple. It's just, for me, it's the social structure of a neighborhood. So it's just, if you know the volunteers, if you know the families, if you live in this neighborhood, you know the culture of this place. So you know how people deal with problems. And that's, like in the city of Amsterdam, that's really different than in a small village in the south of Holland. So we say, in Buurtzorg, we say we don't standardize this way of working, we support diversity. If you look at the principles of self-organization, one of the most important things we try to show was trust. So we said, why shouldn't we trust people? Why should we create so much control things? If nurses, I think when I became a nurse, I just wanted to do my work as good as possible. So I think other nurses also want to do that. So we say we don't need control. These teams are small, and if there's something wrong, it will be shown in the teams. We also started an IT company in 2007 because we said we want to support the nurses with software which is really helping them. And a lot of software is supporting the administration. So we said, now we want to keep the administration away from the nurses so they can just support people. So they don't need to spend time on registration and administration. Then they are responsible for their own education budget. We said if you want to learn something, it's the best possible thing is that you are motivated and that you are interested in what you want to learn. So we only say we spend 3% of the budget on education. How you want to spend it and how you want to organize it, it's your choice. So every team can choose how to organize it. The only thing we try to do at the head office is to avoid all the unnecessary bureaucracy. Because in every healthcare system, there is a lot of terrible bureaucracy. So we say, okay, it's good to monitor what you're doing. That's your professional thing. So people don't see that as a burden. You have to register your time that you're working, because then you get your salary. But then it's enough. So, and if you want to share things, then it's possible that you just put it on our own Facebook. And that's how we share knowledge and experiences. What we feel is that you can expect that when all these teams are doing their own things and feel the ownership, that it's very chaotic, but it's not, because they are all having the same values. They all have the same profession, and they want the same thing. So nurses all over the country, they feel as one. We have every year we have a conference, and then we have 5 conference days. So then we meet 3,000 nurses, and wherever they come from, they feel that they're doing the same things. But we are not structuring it. It's just the logic of their daily work. And all these teams, they split up every time. So they start usually with 4 nurses, then they grow to 10, and then say it's get a bit busy. We can't oversee everything anymore, so then they split up in 2 teams, so like cells. It's a very nice way to work. If you have control on your daily work, and you can do what you think is useful and is important and meaningful. And then about the clients, as I already said, we had a 9.1. We work very close together with the patient and elderly organizations. So we say, we are there for you. So if you tell us what we should do extra or more, then let us know. The way of working also led to less admissions in hospitals and nursing homes. Then about innovations, we like to start something new. So every time again, when somebody has an idea, then we say, let's try it. And when it's a good idea, it will grow by itself. So we have now mental care. It's growing very fast. We have maternity care. We have pensions where people can stay for a short time. We have hospices all over the country. We have youth care. And this was one of the things which was driven me. I think that we should leave our country, our healthcare systems and so on, to the younger generations in a better state than we got it. For me, it's a very important thing that by building a new ways of working, that it's inspiring for young people. We need them when we get old, and that they choose for a job in healthcare. Thank you.